Everyone wants to become rich. But what if everyone actually did? Would humanity enter a golden age, or would money become completely meaningless? Imagine waking up tomorrow and every single person in the universe suddenly becomes rich. Not just you, not just your neighborhood. Every person, everywhere, all at once. Every bank account overflowing, every bill paid off instantly. At first, this sounds like the end of every human problem ever recorded. Nobody worries about rent, nobody stresses over a paycheck, nobody lies awake wondering how to cover next month's expenses. It sounds like paradise. But paradise, it turns out, hides a question most people never think to ask. Here's the twist this documentary is really built on. This isn't asking what happens if everyone had a lot of money. It's asking what happens when wealth stops being rare, because money has never actually been valuable on its own. It's valuable because not everyone has unlimited access to it. Take away that scarcity, and something strange begins to unravel. Let's start with the first crack in the fantasy. If everyone in the world suddenly had billions of dollars, who would still show up to work? Who becomes the doctor stitching a wound at 3 a.m.? Who becomes the farmer harvesting wheat under a blazing sun? Who drives the trucks, teaches the classrooms, fixes the power lines, collects the trash? Money has always been one of humanity's greatest motivators. Remove the need for it, and you remove one of the main reasons people show up. Society doesn't collapse in an explosion. It slows down, quietly, one empty job at a time. Now here's something most people overlook completely. Money isn't food. Money isn't water. Money isn't electricity or medicine. It's simply a symbol we agreed to trust, a placeholder for real things. So if every person on the planet suddenly has unlimited cash and rushes to buy the same limited supply of bread, meat, and clean water, there still isn't more food. There's just more money chasing the same shrinking pile of resources. And when demand explodes while supply stays exactly the same, prices don't just rise, they detonate. This is where inflation enters the story, and it's more brutal than people expect. Imagine a loaf of bread costs $2 today. Now imagine everyone has millions. People don't just pay $2 anymore. They offer 10, then 100, then 500 because everyone else is doing the same thing, and nobody wants to be the one who goes without. Within weeks, that same loaf of bread costs $10,000. Nobody actually became richer. The number in their bank account simply stopped meaning anything. And this leads to an even stranger realization. If everyone owns a Lamborghini, a Rolex, a private jet, are those things still luxury? Luxury has never been about the object itself. It's about how few people can have it. The moment everyone has a mansion, mansions become as unremarkable as a studio apartment used to be. The moment everyone owns diamonds, diamonds become gravel. Scarcity isn't a side effect of luxury. Scarcity is the entire engine that creates it. Which brings us to one of the strangest twists in this entire thought experiment. If every single person on Earth owned exactly $1 billion, would anyone actually be rich? Being wealthy has always meant having more than someone else. Status isn't measured in raw numbers, it's measured in comparison. Erase the gap between people, and you erase the very thing that made rich mean something in the first place. Now think about what holds an economy together in the first place. People work, people produce, people trade what they make for what they need. It's a cycle, spinning continuously, mostly invisible, until you imagine it stopping. If nobody needs to work anymore, that cycle grinds down. Store shelves empty out, factories fall silent, hospitals struggle to find staff, airports slow to a crawl. Not because of some dramatic collapse, but because the quiet daily motion that keeps civilization running simply loses its reason to continue. So what happens next? When money stops functioning as currency, humans don't stop trading. They just start trading something else. Food becomes currency. Clean water becomes currency. Electricity, medicine, useful skills, trustworthy relationships. These become the new economy, built not on printed paper or digital numbers, but on things people can actually use. In a world drowning in cash, the person who knows how to grow vegetables or fix a generator suddenly becomes more valuable than anyone holding $1 billion meaningless dollars. But even with unlimited wealth solved, there's a deeper problem baked into human psychology itself. We don't measure our lives by what we have. We measure it by what we have compared to others. Even if every person on the planet owned exactly $1 billion, people wouldn't stop wanting more. They'd want a bigger house than their neighbor's identical billion-dollar house, a faster car, a more exclusive island, maybe even a private spaceship. The finish line would simply move further away because the race was never really about the money. It was about staying ahead. Now let's zoom out, far beyond Earth. Imagine this isn't just a human event. Imagine it happens everywhere, across the entire universe. Every civilization, every alien species, every planet orbiting every star in every galaxy, every single conscious being suddenly wealthy beyond imagination, all at once. At that scale, money doesn't just lose value, it disappears as a concept entirely. When infinite currency touches every corner of existence, only one thing still matters: the resources that money was always just a symbol for. Along the way, this raises questions worth sitting with. Would billionaires still exist as a meaningful category, or would that word simply lose its power? Would people still chase success, or redefine what success even means? Would crime rise as desperation fades, or fall as the incentive to steal disappears? Would governments still function without taxes to collect? Would banks still exist without currency to protect? Would schools still train students for careers, or shift towards something else entirely? Would humanity keep inventing, or slide into comfort and stagnation? Could an entire civilization quietly collapse, not through war or disaster, but through the simple removal of financial pressure? And here's the lesson hiding underneath all of it, the one the audience should slowly start to feel, rather than be told outright. Real wealth was never the paper, the coins, or the numbers on a screen. Real wealth is food, clean water, reliable energy, knowledge passed from one generation to the next, skilled hands that can build, heal, and create, healthy ecosystems that sustain life, and time, the one resource money has never been able to manufacture more of. Money was only ever a tool for exchanging those things, a convenient fiction everyone agreed to believe in. So here's the question worth sitting with as this documentary closes. If everyone in the universe is rich, then who is actually rich? The honest answer is no one, because richness has never existed on its own. It only exists in comparison, in the gap between what you have and what someone else doesn't. Perhaps the greatest wealth was never money at all. It was the ability to create value for others, to solve a problem, to build something useful, to offer a skill no one else could. Because in a universe where everyone has unlimited money, the rarest currency left standing is purpose, creativity, and the things money could never actually buy.